For playback, we're going to click our playback tab. We're going to be presented with a blank window and we're going to have a list of all of our cameras available on the left column here. This is going to line up with our live view list. Now to select a camera for playback, we can either select one or many. Because this is going to be in the mainstream, selecting many cameras can run quite slowly, so I typically will pick one or two. Let's go with our front door camera. As soon as you've selected it, you'll get an indicator on how many days of footage are available from this particular camera. Now, to get a good idea of how much storage time we have for this camera, we can roll it back a month and see that it goes back to last month on the 22nd. Now, once we've selected the camera, it's going to automatically default to today's date in the last 24 hours. So if we need to go further back, we can do that. We're just going to select the 6th. And as soon as you've clicked, it's going to render that information to the timeline over here on the right. So play is the only thing that's required after this point. This camera is set to motion detection, so it's only going to jump to the clips that have motion and not have any recordings otherwise. We can click along this timeline to go to our next available clips, or as the motion detection ends, it's going to jump to the next available clip on its own. We've got some transport controls at the bottom. Pause, stop. You can run in reverse. You can control the speed of the reverse and the fast forward. Do a jump of 30 seconds or up to an hour, and it'll allow you to jump through the timeline at those sections. We also have a slow motion forward and backwards. The far right, we have a scaling option for the camera to fit the screen. We're not going to be using point of sale services on this camera, so disregard that. We've got a snapshot option to export a snapshot of our video. We've got a clipping tool in case we need to export any video from this clip. We can do so. We've got a save option after we've clipped our event. We'll be able to save it. We also get some fisheye dewarping tools. As well, we've got our digital zoom that's available on playback as well. So if we need to zoom in on a clip, we can do so. Now, this is not going to be recorded this way. You're going to have full scaling. If you were to export a clip, it does not take the digital zoom. This is really just for recovery purposes to get a little more detail while you're watching it. We also have a volume control for any cameras that have available audio. Let's find another one here. Cameras that are recording full time will be rendered as a blue line with red markers. If you have a camera like this, you're going to be started off at 12:01 typically when you play your video. And because the whole day exists, it's just going to run through the entire day for this timeline. If you need to, you can click further into a point in time to jump to that particular event. For small incidences, notice our lines are very small. On the far right, we can expand and contract our timeline to zoom in on a particular clip. Say I wanted 655. That could be a little tricky to click there. So we can expand this, get a little further in on our timeline to click more accurately.